Just 35 minutes on the clock. 2 waves could be the difference of making this Floridian a world champion today. Joe Turpel with Rosie Hodge and Peter Mel here for the call. This format brings the heat. As soon as we get going here in the morning and we hear that horn sound, we'll see if Carissa Moore can find redemption in this matchup, Rosie.
During the COVID year, Ian, my husband, was stopped by a herd of deer in the road as we watched Carissa opening this one.
Carissa now getting the first wave with 17:40 to go. Throws down a nice cutback. Sets up the float early. Now snap, and she'll hang on to it. So cleaning up that wave that looked a little bit tough at times to set a rail, but now she's got a score.
Wow, I mean, just such lower body strength.
Back to Carissa's wave, Rosie.
Yeah, just wrapping through that first maneuver and then kind of a bit of downtime as that wave has a bit of froth on the face, gets that flow with the floater, showing us some variety, linking those turns together.
If she has to watch Caroline get a bomb here, that would be pretty tough. We'll see what happens.
Now deciding to commit to this one, fading the takeoff. The goofy foot setting up her first turn. Caroline chucks some spray on the opening hack. Second turn complete into her third as she really wraps it off the top hard. Whips it quickly and gets to the end section to tap it shut. A lot of confidence out of the 21-year-old. Already an Olympian, but now looking for her first world title.
In the mix, just love the way that she approaches this first turn. Just that beautiful lengthy bottom turn, stays in the cupping out section of the wave and winds through that one. It's got that kind of glisten on the face here at low trestles. This wave is just so beautiful. It's got a lot of power and pushback. It is such a fun wave to surf, and I love seeing Caroline's trademark style.
And she picked that point perfectly. There was a little foam section that she could have gone up and over it, but she wanted to have that snap and get some water off the rail, and she placed it perfectly. She was really patient on this wave too. She sat off the bottom. She didn't rush the turns into the face. Paced it so well, and every turn, again, water off the rail. She was pressing, so the turns were strong, and then gets the finish, and a definite, like you had mentioned, advantage to Caroline in this exchange. I mean, Carissa had a little bit of that stop and start, the floater section there where she kind of jumped up on it, whereas Caroline, look at that, just straight maneuver to bottom turn to maneuver to bottom turn to maneuver. So a great pace and a great wave for Caroline.
She paddles, can't catch up to it. Sitting in a better position as Caroline marks. Under priority, fades the takeoff. Sets up a solid backside hook. Drills it again. Sets up a third move and drills it.
Top to bottom, that's what we've seen from Caroline, and she's been able to produce, and a lot of water coming off the rail.
Definitely. Even though she meets like a little bit of a foamy section, she's just able to use that outward projection on that backhand. 3-turn combo. Just so silky smooth. Just her read to stay in the critical section and really utilize that backhand and attack that lip line. It just, it grabs your attention. A little bit of a dirty rail there when you watch the super slow-mo if we're being incredibly critical, but everything about this wave as she links these turns together looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, and her backhand bottom turn, where she drives that arm. She does that. I mean, we compare it to Aki, and Aki used to keep that arm really low.
It's on the backhand of Caroline. Now Riss getting into gear. Wraps it, set up turn there. Carissa needs something big. Layback hack, looking solid. She'll catch up to the end section to float it and rides away.
Caroline takes off and absolutely dismantles it, but Carissa out the back just putting that rail to work, Pete.
Yeah, she did, and again, this wave flattened out though. I mean, even though it was wave number 2, you thought it was going to be cleaner on the face, it was turned a little bit towards the channel, but she made up for it right here. That was a very strong turn. Judges will like that. Very aggressive, in comparison to what you'd see where Caroline, take a look at this turn here. This is the outside carve. And again, she opens up, she carries that carve, carries the speed well. A little disjointed here. It felt like she was kind of looking for this next section and had to wait, but then she finally gets to the layback zone right there, and that's super strong. Compressing, pushing through that turn, comes out of it. Didn't have the complete flow through it, but I will say that this is going to be a pretty good number for her because she was able to get this final move as well. But the flow from Caroline, a little bit more connected.
Numbers in for Carissa, 6.93, her best so far. Last of Caroline, 7.6, the best of the matchup. Caralupo up again. Blast to start on the opening section. Set up work to fill it in. And she still shuts it down.
Wow. glued to her feet, man. She is just so on point. I mean, let's take a look at this replay here. She drops into this first turn, but you see a little drift of the fins, a little more punch in the turns. Yeah, this one disjointed here, and she had to force that, but then again, you see the release of the fins and comes out of it with confidence. So I like this wave. Probably won't go into her top 2, but ultimately it just goes to show how good she is right now.
Oh, looking so solid, confident. I mean, and this was a cool decision. Kind of like a 2-for-1, little setup turn to hit the oncoming section.
Yeah, cutting that bottom turn short, going a little lateral so she can get that projection and just following her eye line.
Losing the title last year after dominating the regular season. She's hoping to turn things around as we hit the 5-minute mark, needing a 7.67. Carissa throws a first turn in the whitewater. She's starting to hunt a little bit since she doesn't have to worry about losing priority. But in the heart of the peak is Caroline Marks. Already has some speed. Quick little check under the lip. And then throwing a little extended carve. That's her first fall.
Here it is, the opportunity.
Carissa commits to this wave. Needs a 7.67. World number 1. 5-time world champ trying to save herself here. Connects. Has to bottom turn aggressively to get a 2-turn combo. And her body language there, she's just saying, come on.
Wow. I mean, I don't think it's enough. I mean, we already can look at a 7.6 that Caroline's wave, and it just doesn't feel like that's going to be enough. It was a bit disjointed, and the first turn solid. I was like, okay, here we go. We're going to see it for now. That's it. But then it shuts down. She does get up in there, but yeah. Come on! Oh, yeah, she knows how important this is.
Carissa Moore putting her hands up, hoping that it is close to the number, chasing a 7.67 on a 2-turn combo. Numbers are coming in now. She's chasing a 7.67, and it's not enough. As we're into the countdown, it's official. Caroline Marks is your 2023 world champion.
Unbelievable. Oh, can you imagine what that feeling is for Caroline Marks at this moment, as well as for Carissa Moore? Oh man!
What a special day for the surfer from Florida that always called Carissa Moore her hero. Having to take a break last year from competitive surfing for personal reasons and coming back stronger than ever, straight into a world title showdown and officially your world champion.